What is up? What is up, YouTube? And hopefully Twitch, because I'm trying to simulcast on two platforms at once. So this is a test. If you're watching on Twitch, if you're watching on YouTube, on Inside the Man Cave podcast show page, comment on the comment page. I mean on the chat, and let me know that you're out there. If you're awake, what are you up to? It's October 19th, 2022. We're getting close to Hallows Eve. I love Hallows Eve. My buddies and I, back in the day, would get together on Hallows Eve. One of my best friends, who hopefully one day I can get on this podcast and we can reminisce about the good times that we had. We can still talk about that, right? We can still talk about the fun times we had back in the day, right? Yeah. It would be cool to have him on because we went through so much and had really good times. I mean, there's so many things that we can chat about. And that's why I have this. This thing is doesn't seem like it's much right now. But I'm getting a lot of feedback, and people are reaching out and saying, dude, I like what you're doing. We appreciate it. Don't feel like you're alone in the room by yourself, because we're watching. And I know that you guys are watching. I see the analytics. I see everybody that comments on the page and calls me out on some of my mistakes. Like I said, Mom, look what I'm doing on a Wednesday morning early. It's cold here. So we've already been to H-E-B, and we've bought up all the beer, and we bought up all the toilet paper, and we bought up all the food, all the milk, all the eggs, and now we're like settled in. And this is what we do now in America. We broadcast, we podcast, and we simulcast. And people will watch because people are like, they get tired of watching Halloween. I think like I've said before, the last couple of days, I've seen it more than 20 times already. Yeah. So I wanted to come on here. I was going to wait till a couple more people jumped on. Hopefully I can get a couple more people to jump on and join me on this platform, doing it live, because I did a recording that I'm going to put together later on for everybody, because I want to keep doing these podcasts that are pre-produced, and then I can load them up into the YouTube page like a package, and to share that, because I think those are cool, and because I can add video and I can add images, and I can do the same thing here. But for the live, I just want to like kind of just kick back and have some beers and kind of chat, and do it that way for now, until I'm working on trying to get some guests in here, either through Zoom or in person. There's plenty of microphones in this room that people can jump on and talk, and cameras. There's cameras all over. I don't even have all the cameras I have on. I have one, right, or two. I got one, the one you see back there, right by where all the vinyl's at, where the vinyl for October is at, and the two top vinyls you see up there, the new Lamb of God is up there, and the new Queen's Reich vinyl's up there. Those guys are happy for that release. That's cool. There's been a lot of good reviews. I've listened to it. There's maybe one or two good songs in there. It's not the Queen's Reich from back in the day, but it's a new version with two original members. Anyway, so I want to wait till people come on, jump on. There's nobody technically up right now. People are going to work and doing things. They're not up all night like me, just kind of sitting up and blabbing. But Yeah, I wanted to come out and let everybody know that I'm producing a podcast that I recorded earlier, and I'm gonna put it out hopefully by tomorrow morning. And I talk about a lot of things. There's some good stuff in there that I brought up. Some things that are out because it's what is in November we vote, and so there's a lot of people coming. There's people coming to your door with the Beto camp. Nobody from Greg Abbott's camp has come knock on our door yet, but I'm sure it's coming. I mean, Theo Greg's camp. You'll get that reference because you'll see that on a new video. Theo, call him Theo. If you're Hispanic, he's probably gonna be like, "What are you talking about, Theo Greg? I am not Theo Greg." So you'll hear that, and when I put out that podcast tomorrow or later on this morning, or yeah, because I'll be up all night, working to the early morning, doing these things. So yeah, I wanted to jump on and kind of catch up. I haven't been on here because I've been working on some things behind the scenes, on some of the parts that I do here on this podcast. So I'm trying to add more. Little by little, there'll be things that I'll add, and I'm taking my time because I don't want to rush into this. I want to kind of build this, and make it to where it's all established, and I can just throw in the guest and invite people in. So that's coming. Like I've said from the beginning when I started my podcast, be patient. This thing is not going to be anything that you watch or listen to, because that was my motto from the beginning. Like, I want to have the worst podcast in the nation. I'm so happy because I got 43 subs now, and I'm trying to get to 50. So, shameless plug. If you're out there and you have friends and they like listening to podcasts, and please, suggest Inside the Man Cave podcast show, and have them subscribe. I've already had people reach out and say, "Hey, I told a couple people about it. They love what you're doing," and man, it's much appreciated, because I'm just doing this to have a good time and to share some stories that I've when I was in radio, one of the guys I worked with, he's like, "Dude, you always have a good story about something," and I like to share that because I don't think some of these things and stories that I have shouldn't go and be untold. I there's some good stuff, and anytime we're hanging out with friends and family, they ask questions. People ask questions, and because what I've done for so long, been in the part of the media and all the things that I've been able to do and be a part of, I share some good stories. So that those things are the fun part about this, that I can do that, and that's my goal is to have that, and hopefully get a chuckle out of you, and maybe some comments will be good. That's what I'm shooting for. I don't care if I have a million followers. Right now, I'm just trying to get to 50. I got 43. It's amazing how you guys have responded with the subs that I got. I appreciate it. That right there is loyalty. I promise I will try to do my best to keep you entertained and informed, because you can get information anywhere, right? And anywhere you're on right now, when you're clicking through your phone, you're getting info and stuff the way you want it, right? So I appreciate that. Enough of that. On the podcast I'm going to release, I'll talk a little bit about what to expect. I talk about these political ads that are coming out, and one in particular that really kind of got me going, is one with a young lady who I think is a paid actor, and I'll play the ad for you. When I release the video, there'll be a snippet at the end where she says, "I call him Theo Greg." It's comical. It's comical because I said, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to save it. You guys, you'll be able to watch it, and you guys let me know your opinion on it, because to me, I'll let you know. You can check it out on my reaction to that video. But I'm gonna tease. I'll tease that. I'll talk about Jerry Jones is in hot water. And he was in a heated exchange with Robert Kraft, another billionaire owner, and Uncle Jerry, Theo Jerry, was like, he tells Robert Kraft, "Don't fuck with me." I would love to get that soundbite. That would be great. I would love to have that as a drop, like a whole drop. I could use it. Don't fuck with me. It'd be Jerry Jones. That would be awesome. So there's a lot of Jerry going on right now. I'm sure he's pissed off because they dropped the game in Philly. I'm sure he's still pissed off, as a lot of you Cowboy fans are. That's okay. Hey, man, that's what this game's all about, right? The fanatics, we're all fanatics, man. We love it. We got to win. You got to go through your rituals. NFL is a very powerful thing. That's why you have owners that act the way they do nowadays. I mean, Jerry Jones, 80. Robert Kraft, 80, marrying a 41-year-old last week. It's amazing. It's amazing, incredible. I'm not hating on any of these guys. I just find it fascinating. I find it so fascinating. Well, we all know why these ladies, are attracted to these billionaire owners. So, yeah, I talk a little bit about that. Jerry Jones is in the story, and a couple stories in there. So, yeah, look out for that podcast. I'll release tomorrow morning, and pass it around, share it. Let everybody know. I want to get this word out. I need to get 50 subs so I can go and be remote and take my phone and do a live stream somewhere. I can't do that yet. So I would appreciate if you guys can pass the word around. Get me the 50. I'm close. I'm so close. I can smell it. I'm so close. And it's funny because I'll watch other podcasts. I'll kind of, I got some good friends that are doing the same thing, but they're on another level compared to me. They got more subs, they got more followers. I don't care to be on that level. I just want to have enough to have a good time and be able to broadcast and to stream, because you have to have these guidelines they have with YouTube. You have to have at least 50 to be able to stream. So that's what my goal is, just to get a couple. I don't need a million or 2 million. Be like a Kardashian. I don't want to do that. But it'd be cool to get, something, Kim Kardashian to like one of your tweets or one of your Instagram pictures. That would help. So maybe I can do that. Maybe try to come up with a cool picture and see if she wouldn't, just keep hounding her and see if she'll like it or share it. And that would get me a lot of followers. But I said I wasn't going to do that. I don't want to cheat that way. Just get me to 50, okay? 50 and I'll be a happy man. And then I talk about this other story, which I can relate to a lot because, being in radio for so many years, I've pretty much worked almost every different shift. From morning drive to afternoon drive to overnights, you name it, I was a part of it. I enjoyed the multiple years that I was involved in radio. Now they will not even, I've tried to get back in and they will not even look at me. They're like, you're trouble, dude. We don't trust you. We don't like you. Go away. That's cool. I'm cool with it. But what is it? In South Africa, there was a radio station. I think it was L&M Radio. And I talk about this on the new podcast I'm going to release. And so when I talked about how a lot of these radio stations are pre-programmed. So they're programmed. Every hour is timed out. I think they stop if you have a live show. It's time. You got to program it from 7 p.m. until 5 a.m. and then it's manned by somebody at that time. Somebody comes in and takes it out of automation, and they take over. And if you don't time it out right, if you don't time these things out right, things will happen. There's these triggers that you put in every hour, and these triggers go off at a certain time. And if you don't time it out right, you got to time out these things. It'll autofill. So what happened was I think it was a classic rock station in South Africa. And they started, it was playing a band that I love to listen to. And they started, playing this song, and you'll be able to listen to when the podcast is released tomorrow morning, and you'll be able to listen to that song that came on and played. It's so funny because somebody didn't do their job. The PD, I guess, or the operations manager came out and apologized and said, "Hey, we apologize for that. We don't condone anything that Steel Panther talked about in that song. So you got to go hear this song." This band, they're known for their antics, and they're great to watch live. I've seen them a couple times. I've seen them in Vegas. I've seen them in Austin. I've seen them here in San Antonio. Michael Starr, the singer of Steel Panthers from San Antonio. People call it a gimmick. They're still playing the instruments. They're great musicians. It's just like watching that band that I talked about, Spandex Nation. They kind of remind me of Spandex Nation. Spandex Nation is a band that plays at Fremont, the Fremont Experience in Las Vegas. And they play Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I think they start like at 10 and they go till 2. And they play all the 80s hits. And they're great, man. They get a great crowd. I just saw them like a month ago when I was up in Vegas to see the stadium tour. But that's what this band, Steel Panther, but they're not as edgy because Steel Panther, they put it out there. And I'll give you a little sample of what this band is all about. And the walls are drenched in vomit, spit, and other people's spunk. And an endless line of 18-year-old stripper druggy whores would be winding to my bunk right outside the tour bus doors. But I couldn't help but want for something just a little more. That's when you came in and blew me. That's when you came in and blew me. That's when you came in and blew me away. I was looking for a woman more beautiful than most, and not just in the retouch Facebook selfies that they post, who refrain from talking only of herself when in my bed. Not that I'd ever consider it for someone I could wed. I needed someone just like me, but I got idiots instead. That's when you came in and blew me. Yes, that is Steel Panther. Love those guys. I'm glad that they made the airwaves in South Africa. And the band they got word of this because the word gets around on the socials, man, the social media, right? And they're like saying they apologize, but we thank you. It's brilliant. I love it. I love these guys. Hopefully I'll be able to get my subs, my 50 subs, and be able to have my phone and able to go and do these shows live and do reviews and maybe even talk to Michael Starr from San Antonio, the lead singer of Steel Panther. You know, go and stream live some live interviews and do stuff like that. That's why I want to do this thing. You know, these this band is hilarious.
After all the critics said our debut record was our peak, now I couldn't hit the high notes. Sometimes I couldn't even speak. But the band had dates in Germany for just another week. That's when you came in and blew me.
Yeah, I wish radio stations would play more music like this. I mean, everybody on social media, you see bad things. Younger people are growing up really fast with some of these things that they're seeing online. I mean, you're seeing a lot of things that are pretty heavy, right? And some of the violence you see on video games and TV and movies. So what is, excuse me, why the restrictions on radio? I get it. I understand. I was in radio for years. I know you got to follow those FCC guidelines. Look at Howard Stern. You know, he walked that fine line, and then they made it. Oh, excuse me. They made his life miserable, and he's like, "Fuck this! I'm going to satellite radio, and I'm able to do whatever I want." And once he got there, once Howard got to satellite radio, to me, I felt like he tamed down a lot. I used to love that show they had on E, when they had live Howard Stern on E. That was the best. He had all the porn stars. It was very cool and edgy. That's what I like. I love that about Howard. No matter what, I'll still watch Howard Stern. I listen to him on a daily basis. I'm a huge fan of Fred Norris. Fred is a cool dude. I wish I could meet him one day, and because that guy, he's sharp, man. Anything that Howard's doing, he is complimenting it 100%. So that's the fascination I've had with radio. And not on that level. I was a local kid from this town in San Antonio, and I never dreamed of, being part of some good radio shows on News Talk, on sports radio. So, for getting that kind of opportunity and doing what I did, I loved it. I loved being a part of that, but I know how strict it is. So, it's a funny story. Go check it out. Go check it out on the new podcast I released later on today. Later on this morning, I'll release it. And there's so many good stories on there. So what is everybody up to tonight? I'm sure everybody's asleep. And I'm over here blabbing away, and that's okay. I mean, you can listen to me, and you don't have to. I mean, if you want to jump in and hit the chat, that's cool. I see people kind of bouncing in and out. I don't know how many people. Let me check how many people are in there. Oh, there's nobody in here. I'm alone right now on this podcast. But the beauty of it is that you will be able to watch this again and replay it over and over and share it with your friends and your family and your neighbor and let them know that I'm here. We're here. We're broadcasting. We're podcasting. We're simulcasting. We're doing all the fun stuff. So if you're not, you're missing out. Give it a try. If not, send me, if we're good friends, send me a message. I'll let you on, jump on, and, tell me what you're doing. Are you sitting up watching Halloween? Are you sitting up, eating something, ice cream, drinking a beer. What kind of beer are you drinking if you're up drinking beer? I'm having a Budweiser 16 ounce. Um, you know what I haven't had? I haven't had. Um, I need to do some beer like Oktoberfest beer. Yeah. Okay, that will be something I'm gonna bring on a couple Oktoberfest beers and try them out. I've tried a bunch, but they every year they come out. It's become a thing where you go to Total Wine or wherever you go, to Specs or whatever, um, and they have so many like beers. It's amazing. It's like a candy store in there. You can walk out of there and spend a whole week's pay on alcohol and whatever else they have in there. It's like, I want this, I want that. It's like, man, you know what? You know when the best time to go into those places, like around your birthday, and on my birthday every year, I always buy a bottle of Jack. Um, it's been a thing that I've done forever. Uh, I love Jack Daniels, and it's one of my things. I'll do every December. I will go in there and get a case of this, a case of that, and I get ready, and I invite my friends, which I don't have. I don't have that many friends now. I thought I had some good friends. I don't. You know. Uh, so I don't really. I don't trust a lot of guys and people anymore. It's there's a lot of people out there who are just flakes, and shady. See, I kind of stay away from that now. I have to. It's like you've been there before, and you feel like, okay, I can deal with this and that, and then it just never ends, and it just gets old, and you just got to move on. You got to move on, and sometimes you just got to end that chapter of your life and move on. And if you're running solo, man, for the rest of your life, that's cool. I think it's better that way. But friends, I have a small portion of them who I consider really good friends, and that is getting pretty slim because I've had to cut a lot of ties, and I'm cool with it because if I had to cut ties with you, that means that we were not really friends in the beginning. So take that as it is. I don't care how you take it or what if your feelings are hurt. I don't give a fuck. I gave up on all that. I don't care. Life is too short. If your feelings are hurt, then you know what? Go cry to somebody else. It doesn't matter to me how you feel. Or if not, if I'm your friend on Facebook or Twitter or all that, I don't care. Okay? So enough of that. Anyway, I digress. I see. I'll tend to do that. You guys know that I'll do that. If you're a subscriber, you know how I go off on tangents and I just blab about things. But I was talking about going to Total Wine. I love Total Wine. Total Wine is like going to a candy store and they got samples in there too. It's like going like when you go to Costco or to Sam's, they got samples. You can like sample. Like I was at where was I at? I was at Sam's the other day, and they had this bacon wrapped shrimp. That shit was good. I bought some for football Sunday. That shit was good. What else did I buy that was really good from there? That I bought. I think there was some orange chicken that I bought at Costco. I can't find it because they'll do this to you. Costco will like put a product out, and then next thing you know, it's gone. Like the next time you go back, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna buy two. Gone. They got something else that replaces that. So they play that game with you. But yeah, that's like Total Wine. Total Wine, you walk in and it's like, boom. It's like right in your face, all the wine. What kind of wine you want? You want Argentinian wine. That's some of my favorite. Or you want some good, Merlot or whatever. You want some Zimas. You want some Jack. You want some. We got all kinds of tequilas. We got all kinds of vodkas. Man, so you got variety. It's like when you go to the grocery store. You start at the veggies and you work your way up into and you go down, and every aisle you're going down. And that's the way Specs is. It's a beautiful thing. I love Specs. I mean, not Specs, Total Wine. Yeah. Yeah, that Total Wine is really, really good. I don't know if you can see it. In here I've already purchased some. There's a pack there. There's some beers down there. I just need to put them in the fridge. The fridge is right there. It's pretty stocked up. I always have cold beer in there. And just got to be ready, So when I do these podcasts, I'm able to. I need to keep. You need to. You need to have a beverage to keep your throat lubricated, because you're talking a lot. So you need alcohol. And I actually have Jack there. I have some Blackened Metallica whiskey. I have some Deftones tequila that you can't find anywhere. I was so lucky to get that. I need to break that out. And try that live on one of the podcasts. I could tell you that. I could tell you this right now. I am probably the only person in this area that I'm in that has that. Yeah. Too bad. I would try. I would let you sample it, but I don't know. I'm greedy. I want it all to myself. Yeah. So, yeah, when you go to Total Wine, and if you guys gone, let me know. Like, either hit me up on the chat, tweet at me at Johnny Compian, and let me know what liquor store or superstore do you go? That's a superstore, man. You know that what Costco's has, that liquor area on the side, and they got that wholesale. They don't got shit compared to Total Wine or Specs. And Specs is pretty. They used to be, okay. But now, when Total Wine came along, they kind of took over and step aside. This is where you come to get. But one thing, I drink Heineken Light. I love drinking Heineken Light, and it's hard to find. And I've emailed the people at Heineken and dude, what is up? I love regular Heineken. I've drank regular Heineken for years. That was my beer of choice. I always drank Heineken. And then they brought out one of my good friends, a former Dallas Cowboy that I worked with. He's the one who introduced me to Heineken Light. And after that, I was hooked. I was hooked, and I'm like, dude, I will never drink anything else but that. And the past few months, you used to be able to get a 12-pack of Heineken Light in bottles. Can't do it now. The only place you can find Heineken Light 6-packs are at Central Market. Central Market here in San Antonio in the 09. And it's they want $12 for a 6-pack, which is average. It's average. Most people would not pay for that. That's probably too much. But I enjoy drinking it. I enjoy drinking Heineken Light. And what sucks is, I love going to the Yard House. I love hanging out. The Yard House is one of my places. I love going to the Yard House and just sitting there and drinking beer on tap. And what sucks is that a lot of times you go in there, and I've experienced this a lot. So you would think you would go into a place, an establishment like the Yard House, right? And they would have anything you want to drink, right? Anything on tab. And, you would go in there, hey, give me this. So I asked for one of the most basic American products that sells everywhere. And this was years ago. So they had it, right? Take a sip. I'm like, it tasted awful. It did not taste like a Budweiser. The lines were dirty at a Yard House. The second time, I was like, you know what? Switch up. Give me something else. Switch up. I go in there again. I'm like, hey, last time I was here, I tried. Let me try it again. Same shit. It's just so disappointing because you go into those places and you pay, like $8 or $9 for a pint. And you get that. My point is, if you're going to have a place like the Yard House, which they have a really cool one up in Austin at the Domain, it's a really fucking cool Yard House. If you haven't been there, you're missing out. Go check it out. Go check out the Yard House at the Domain in Austin and tell me about it. And another one that's really cool is I love hanging out for happy hour, and I was there like a month ago, was at the Las Vegas Yard House. I don't know what it is about the vibe at the Yard House. I just love, but when I go in there and I'm like, hey, can I get a Heineken Light? They kind of look at me like, what? We just got regular Heineken. That is something that you should have on tab. If it's selling out everywhere and people, when they put it up and people are buying it up everywhere you go, doesn't that tell you, doesn't the people at Heineken see those numbers and say, we need to get these kegs out and make sure they're pushing our product, or they don't care? Or even with Budweiser, they didn't have Budweiser in Vegas Yard House. They don't have Budweiser at the one at River Center. They don't have Budweiser at the La Cantera Yard House. It's amazing to me. It's these little things that matter to people like me. I mean, when you go in there, you want to relax, have some appetizers, and have some cold beer. And the beer is cold. Don't take me wrong. The beer is nice and cold. And you get a beer flight of the Texas beers they got. And it's cold. But right down the road, they put up Twin Peaks. Now, Twin Peaks is my new favorite place. It's like 5 minutes away from here. And their beer is cold. The lines are clean. The beer lines where they serve out the tabs, they're clean right now. And see if they keep up with it. I'm going to keep my eye out on that. And that's one of the important things to me is if you're serving me a beer, it's like going to the Alamo Dome. I love bashing on the Alamo Dome because you go to the Alamo Dome, they don't even serve it. I don't even know if they serve tab anymore or do they? I don't know. Because when I was there for Motley Crue and the stadium tour, they were selling, like aluminum bottles, and they put it in a cup. It was just awful. It was horrible. Anyway, so it's just amazing how you go into these places and these establishments, and they're not. Everybody loves to drink something different. So if anything, I'll fall back and drink Dos Equis, dressed. Give me that. You can never go wrong with a Dos Equis dressed. But for asking for a Budweiser or a Heineken, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get that anywhere near here. And those people need to do their homework. I mean, it sucks. But yeah, maybe we should all get together and go get a beer at the Yard House or my new place, Twin Peaks. Any of my subs, because like I said, I don't have any friends. So yeah, let's grab a beer. If some of my subs, the next couple of subs that subscribe to my page from 44 on to 50, I'm buying you a beer. I will actually be someplace and I will tell you, this is where I'm going to be on Friday night. Show up and I will buy you a beer or two. I'm a man of my word. So subscribe, pass it around. And that's awful because I'm like trying to bribe you and to sub on my page so I can get 50, so I can get out of this man cave and go simulcast or broadcast on my phone. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So I wanted to jump on here and like I said, I wanted to jump on and doing these lives, and I wanted to do pre-produced podcast as well. So I'm going to try to do both and line up some interviews. I'm going to reach out to some good friends that are in some sort of business or that are touring musicians, and to come on and talk about some stories and I think that would be cool for you guys to listen to and experience. Some of the local guys from San Antonio who are national now. I want to get into some of that because I've already asked a couple and they're like, yeah, just let me know when and where. And if I'm not doing anything, I'll definitely jump on. And that's where, I want to take this show. But I want to get some more subs and I want to get a little bit more followers. So, the word can get out, because I know if you start doing these and people are going to miss and they're like, dude, why didn't you say anything? Well, I've been pushing it for the last couple of months, and it's hard to keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, and then nobody's because there's so many options. There's so many people doing podcasts. I was on Twitch last night checking out what they did, and there's people just sitting there chatting, sort of like what I'm doing, but they'll chat, and there was some stuff that I saw was just like very disturbing. But they're getting away with it. They're getting paid. They got thousands upon thousands of followers, and they like it. And Twitch is a different world from YouTube. So, I'm trying to simulcast on two platforms. I haven't really locked it in yet because I'm having trouble staying locked in with both at the same time. So at some point, like I said, that's what I've been working on behind the scenes, is trying to get these two platforms to simulcast this podcast at the same time. And I don't think Twitch wants to be affiliated with YouTube, so I don't think it's allowed. I could be wrong. I've tried it, and I was on Twitch for a little bit just to kind of scout and see how everybody's doing and what everybody's doing. But at some point, I'm going to try to simulcast on both at the same time. So be patient. Pass the word around. Inside the Man Cave Podcast Show, like and subscribe. Pass it around. Tell your friends, your neighbors. And if you got something, that you want me to talk about, don't hesitate to reach out. Throw me an instant message or hit me up on Twitter or hit me up on the chat if you're on there. And if you're shy and we know each other, send me a text message, and I will try to do my best to talk about the topics or the things that you think are important or things that you want to hear my point of view on. That's why I'm doing this. So yeah, I need to get busy because I need to produce the podcast I recorded earlier and add some video and some flash to it to post it on the YouTube channel. But I wanted to come on here and spend a little bit of time with you guys and say hi and see how everybody's doing, and kind of do two things at once. I'm going to try to do this a lot to where I'll pre-produce a podcast and then sit here and chat and have a beer with you guys and play some music and have some fun. I think that right there is a little different from what other people are doing. Other people are just kind of sitting there, everybody has their own style when they do these podcasts, and some of these topics they talk about, and it's an eye-opening thing, because you think, well, nobody really cares about what I'm talking. People care about what you're saying, and people love to watch reality TV. And right there, that stuff sells. People love to be a part of it. They love to talk about it. They love drama. But you got to start somewhere. And that's where this show's at right now. We have started this, and we need to take it to the next level. And I'm trying my best to do the hard work, because being a part of the media and doing some of the work that I did, was not on this. You do some of that work, and you do commercials, and you put together commercials, you put together rejoiners, you do intros, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, I can do that with my stuff, my personal stuff, and do whatever I want. I don't have to answer to anybody or ask anybody permission. I kind of just go and just do it. And I had somebody tell me, like, hey, you should eliminate this. And people are already sending their suggestions about, how I should handle and do my show. And you know what I appreciate? I appreciate the kind comments and some of the negative stuff. Like, hey, I don't like when you say this, or what your intro says. Well, you know what? That you have options. You have options, and you don't have to listen to it. If you're offended by what I say, or what I do, or how I do it, or what I play, then this is not for you. But there's other people that they love that. They just haven't discovered it yet. So it's going to take time for people to kind of catch on and to know that it's out there. I'm going to try to promote the hell out of it. I want to sell merch. I want to do there's so many things I want to do. Just make it like a small my own little business I can do. And I think my big goal is to maybe one day have a place downtown in San Antonio, right in the center of the city, and have a place where I can go and broadcast at night live, and invite all the people who follow and to appreciate the good things, that the way we used to do it back in the day. And do it that way. Right now, this is just the beginning. I started this thing out as, some ideas that I had. Inside the Man Cave podcast, it started as Inside the Man Cave podcast show. And it just kind of built from that. I built around it. And, added my flair to it. And this is nothing yet. I just put up the basics to my stuff. I did a couple basic things, and this is the way I'm running it right now. And people are already like, you shouldn't do this. Well, you know what? I was paid to do this back in the day, and I had to listen. I'm not paid to do this right now. I'm not making any money off this. I got no sponsors. I mean, I could use a beer sponsor. Specs, Total Wine, Heineken Light, Heineken. Anybody want to sponsor this podcast? That would be great. That would be great. That would be awesome if I can get a sponsor, at least one sponsor. That would be great. 2, sure. Multiple, that would be even better. But you know what? It's baby steps. I'll take what I can right now. Let me get to 50 subs, and then we'll go from there. We'll kind of build to the next level from there. So it's fun. I love doing this. It's and like I always I always have to tell people and just warn people, I'm not good at it. I don't claim to be the best podcaster. I don't do things right. I don't speak well. I don't come across that good to people. So, it's to me, I'm like, this is how I do it. Either take it or leave it. You got choices. And if it's not for you, that's okay. I'm cool. Check in once in a while. If there's something that I put up, if later on when this thing keeps going on and building, and there's something that you like that I do, because there will be. I guarantee you, there'll be a point where you're like, wow, he interviewed so and so. Oh, wow, he did this. Wow, check out that video. You just need one thing to go viral, and then things will start moving along for your show. So I'm being very patient and building. I'm slowly kind of building those blocks and moving up. So it's not going to be, something that I want to blow up. I've already said that. I just kind of want to have a good time. I want to talk to everybody and, just kind of BS. I think it's more I think it's more of an attraction for people when there's multiple people around, when there's more than one voice. Then we seem to, gravitate more because you got more opinions. See, right now you're just listening to me, and that's cool. I mean, and like I said, people really appreciate it. There's some people like it and some people don't. And the people that like it, I appreciate it. This came from out of nowhere, and look where it's gone so far with 43 subscribers. So I want to thank everybody for allowing me to come into your living rooms or wherever you're watching this, or your mobile phone, and giving me some time. I mean, it's an honor to be able to do this and do it my way. And talk about some of the stuff that you're really not hearing, or my angle on certain topics that you hear that are not the popular feedback that you want to hear. Sometimes you're going to hear stuff from me, you're like, what is this idiot talk? Why did he say that? Or why is he razzing Theo Gregg? And if you don't get the reference, you will when I release this new podcast that I recorded earlier. Theo Gregg, the new political ad, I kind of go off on it. You got to listen to the new podcast. It's coming out later on this morning. Once I'm done here, I'm going to jump on and I'm going to produce that. So I appreciate everybody coming on. I will check back with you guys tomorrow night. Hopefully we'll have more people kind of come in and join in the conversation. And we are getting close to tomorrow. The Spurs it's opening night, man. Manu Ginobili it's gonna be Manu Ginobili night. Why not? I wish I could be there. I don't have any connections, so I'll be watching on TV. But it's so cool that Manu Ginobili is being recognized for what, Hall of Fame and everything that he did for this city. And there was a cool story that that I saw that I'm going to put out the video and do a little something on it, because I think Manu deserves it, where they shot his jersey up, his signed jersey up into space. Now, how cool is that? Yeah, so till next time, I really appreciate you guys jumping on and giving me a couple of minutes of your time. You guys take care, and look out for the new podcast that'll be out later on this morning. Like and subscribe, share it with your friends, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.